All right, what's going on, guys? Long time no here. I know. I've been moving around trying to make things happen, but I hope all is well out there. Hey, today we're going to briefly talk about servant leadership, and the most important part of it to me is to serve. So we're going to briefly touch that all the rest of the week. I'm going to touch on those leadership topics that I left you guys with. So, hey, y'all stay tuned. It should be fun. All right, guys, let's get right to it, man. All right, guys, I want to let y'all know the reason why I started this Red Tape podcast, the reason why For the One Media exists is because I believe that, as I was told by one of my professors, everything rises and falls on leadership. I believe that. The reason why I'm here, the reason why I talk to you guys constantly, I always putting out something to annoy you, but hopefully to provoke thought, is because I want to be able to change mindsets. And through that, I know that can be done with great leadership. Without great leadership, whether we leading ourselves, a community, a family, or the world, we tend to fail. And fail we do often, even in great leaders. Even in the great leaders that we've seen over time. You know, nowadays we tarnish those who led because I guess we forget that they're human beings and they're going to do things corrupt at times. But we looked at the moments that they rose to be leaders. And that's the point that I speak to, humanity. Humanity means we're going to fail. Humanity means that we're imperfect, for those that forget that. So whether it's Thomas Jefferson and the slaves that he held, George Washington, or people way before that, you know, they did great things regardless of the fact that they did things that were also immoral to us. We all do things that are immoral, but that doesn't take away from your leadership. Hopefully you get better and you learn from it. Obviously, it was on their heart. If you read a lot of the notes and everything that they had, a lot of the correspondence, you got to know a little bit about them and understand that the trouble that they have living this way. So I only bring that up because we have to first understand in leadership, it's always going to be tough to lead. People are never going to be satisfied, and there's always going to be something wrong. I mean, you see it now. We look back over time and we see that they did things wrong, and we look at ourselves that if we're in their position at that certain time, that we would have did it better than them. Well, you don't know your mindset. You don't know what you would have been going. You don't know what would have been going through your mind at those moments in time, because most people do what they see. Most people are going to do what they know, what they're accustomed to. It's very rare that people break away from what they are normally used to. But when you do break away from those social norms to do the right thing, you meet trouble oftentimes. And that's the reason why I'm here, because I understand trouble. I've met trouble in my life. I understand that being a leader, there's going to be conflict. I get that in conflict, I'm going to grow, but I know sometimes people bring things to you in being a leader that you be like, why me? But it's just a part of the game. It's just, if you're blessed with the ability to lead, and we all are blessed with the ability to lead in some capacity, maybe not all, you might not be leading the masses, but you'll be leading yourself. And hopefully if you're blessed enough to have a family, you'll be able to lead them as well and grow. And that's what life's about. And that's why I'm here with the Red Tape podcast. And that's just as simple as it could be. That's the reason why For the One Media exists, because we want to be able to tell stories of extraordinary people. We want to be able to talk about extraordinary things. We want to talk about difficult subjects and all those things that matter to me and that matter to hopefully you all, who are trying to become leaders, who are trying to change your mindset, and who are just advanced in leadership and just want to learn a little bit more. So I just talk to y'all plainly. I try my best to talk as plain as possible to everyone out there to let you know, here's what Demerious R. Nelson stands for. I shouldn't even told you that much, but that's what it's about for me. And if I'm not doing that, then I'm not doing my job. And that's what I feel, and that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm always motivated to do this, because really this is not working for me. This is something that I enjoy. Like I told y'all for a long time, man, look, I've been hobbling up and down the stairs in my house trying to get up here so I can talk to you guys, because I feel like Christ put something on my heart always to say to you, whether you like it or not, cool. I try to make it fun. I try to make it entertaining as much as possible. But the whole point is life is about learning. Life is hard enough, so we want to enjoy it, yes, but unless we understand things about serving others and duties and understand integrity and how to grow, how to work together as a community, then we're nothing. Because you can't do anything by yourself. And that's just a fact. You cannot achieve one thing by yourself. Because you were born, it took help for somebody to get you out. As you crawled around as an infant, you had to lean on someone else. As you become an adult, you still have to lean on other people because you don't understand what adulthood is. When you have a family, you have to learn that level. See, there's always a leadership point of where we should grow. There never should be a leader who think he has it all or she has it all in order, in place, and ready to roll. Because when that person thinks that about themselves, they have stopped learning. And I try to move as far away from them as I can. So that's what the red tape's about, guys. That's what we're here to do. So first and foremost, we're going to get right to what I always try to do, and that is to give you the mouthful for the day. And it comes from Mr. Winston Churchill, who's one of the greatest leaders. He had a lot of trouble, guys. We all know that. People wanted to give up on him. People didn't want to see him do what he do, but he did what he did in a time that the world needed it, a time that Britain needed it during World War II. He stepped up and made it happen. So his quote for the day is, we make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. And for me, I'm going to start with serving and what the importance of serving is. See, in life, man, we can do everything we want to do for us. We can live a life that we feel is, everybody says living their best life. But what does that include? Does that include other people? Because for me and the people that I know and the people that surround me, it's about seeing each other live the best life that they can, because we know that if I can help that individual out, I know he's going to help 10 or 20 more people, or maybe 100 or millions of people. So that's what it's all about. If I can help you get to where you're going, I know you are better equipped for whatever that gift is to get it to those certain people. That's why we're all unique, because we can all touch people in a different way, in a unique way. That's why it never look to be like someone else. Now, if you have good example of human beings out there that are doing great things, your path might not be the same, but they may be on the course that you want to go. They may be in a position in life where you want to achieve. Now, in leadership, the best thing you can be is someone who is willing to learn, someone who is willing to follow. And when you learn to serve others, also in followership, you're just serving each other. Followership, you're serving, and leadership, you're serving. Any leader who isn't willing to serve, any man or woman who doesn't want to serve the other, honestly, they're not leaders. They're not ready for leadership. They may be men or women just because that's how God made them, and they may be an adult, but that doesn't mean they know how to lead right. See, when it comes to leading, we always looking at moving forward, like I say that often on this show. But in moving forward, it means to step back and to serve other people. Now, in serving other people, there are a few things that I think that we have to get right when we're serving other people. And we have to first realize what Winston Churchill says we make a life by what we give. You have to be willing to give to others so they can ultimately achieve what they want to achieve and give back to whoever they want to give something back to. All my friends are always impressing me because I always hear the stories of them giving or helping or giving some advice. And giving doesn't mean money. When you give time, like I've said before, that is the most valuable thing you can give, because we only have so much of it. And to spend the time and stopping what you're doing on your road to help someone else achieve their dreams is amazing. That's the most important thing you can give someone. Now, money is a plus to help me get to where I'm going, because obviously money, it's just a part of our culture, part of our life, and it's something that we need to achieve what we want to achieve, but it isn't everything. What is everything is the community that we live in. What is everything is the family that you're blessed to have. And even if your family is bad, it's still a blessing, because it's teaching you where you don't want to be or teaching you where you want to go. When you have those negatives in your life, and every leader will have that in their life, every single person who wants to be a leader will have that in their life. And a lot of times on the road to leadership, there are going to be a lot of roadblocks that want to keep you from leading, because that's just the way it's designed. There's a lot of negativity, a lot of negative situations, if you allow it to be negative, that can run you in the ground and you never be able to get back up. But if those other leaders around you recognize that you could potentially run yourself in the ground and may never get back up, they should come up and lift you up by serving you and what you need. The greatest example of servant leadership, obviously, everybody know, Well, if you don't know, you will now know that Jesus Christ, taking the time to serve the disciples by washing their feet, was the greatest example of serving other people, because he is King, he is Lord, he's God, and he took the time to wash the feet of those who followed him. See, that's a good example, because if you do not, as a leader, show other people that you're willing to serve, show them that you're willing to be humble and have the humility to do the dirty work, then you're not ready to do the good work that is ready and awaiting you in the future. So these are three things that you got to understand when it comes to serving other people. You have to be humble, number one. You have to have humility, because obviously a lot of us, especially men, we gonna pump our chest out. We have a lot of pride, and pride gets in the way. And then in having pride, we struggle because you finally gain a little confidence, and you're in a situation that you love, but now somebody telling you to serve them. It's like, because men are competitive. I got to say that. Men are competitive. I understand women are becoming even more competitive now. They probably always been competitive. I don't know. I'm not one. I'm a man. But I do know, speaking to men because I am one, I understand that, hey, man, look, he say, serve this guy. Look at these idiots running around here. That's how the conversation is when you're leading people. I can't believe they can't get what I'm saying. I can't believe they don't understand. I don't see what's the problem. This is all in my head, because if you say this out loud, then you might not be leading anyone. You might just be going home and talking to yourself in the mirror, trying to figure out, hopefully I can get another opportunity to lead people in a great way. So when you're leading people, you have to have humility, because you can't have your chest out. You can't have all the pride, because that doesn't work for people. People want to see people who are willing to be humble. People want to see people who are willing to say, I'm sorry. People want to have people and great leaders that say, I made a mistake. Those are the people that we follow. That's why if you notice things like baseball, for instance, Andy Pettitte used steroids, admitted to using steroids. He's a Christian. Hey, he did what he did. He might not ever get in the Hall of Fame, but everybody forgave him because he admitted to his mistakes, and that was it. Then you got people like A-Rod and these other, Sammy Sosa, and I don't know if they did or didn't do it, but they end up in a bunch of trouble anyway because they said they did do it. If you just admit to your mistakes, sometimes the world is they treat you a lot better. But if you continue in the lie, then you just have to live that lie the rest of your life. And that sucks. That sucks. You look at Sammy Sosa now. I don't know if he has a skin condition, but it don't look like Sammy Sosa if you've seen him lately. So if you want to Google him. But anyway, I'm not here to make fun of that guy. I'm just here to make a point that in leadership, you have to be willing to be humble in those moments of I failed. Because a lot of times people don't have humility when they fail. And that's not a great leader. If you know a leader like that, don't follow him. And also make sure you tell him the truth about himself in a constructive way. That's number one for me. Number two, you got to have the awareness and the recognition to understand the position that you're in. As a leader, you have to be able to understand and recognize that the people around you that you have an opportunity to serve is just that, an opportunity, because you don't know what you may say to them that may help them, that catapults them into the next dimension or the next level. And it may not be for you to be the next great whatever. You might just be the one that leads the one to be the next great thing, or the one that leads the one that ultimately will be the next best thing. But they never forget you because you chose to serve, you chose to stop and to take the time out to do the thing to help them achieve what they need to do. And then all you can do then is just pray that they'll do the same and not lose themselves. See, in the Bible, there's a great example of Moses leading the people, and he ended up getting Jethro, his father-in-law, to help him set up the course for all these people, to get people to help him so everyone has to come to him all the time. It's not because he don't want to be able to help everyone, but it's important to have people around you that's strong enough or even stronger than you to help you in those situations, because we do not have to bear all the burden of leading. All the burden of leading doesn't have to be on you. Now, there are going to be times that you're going to have to deal with the burden of leading people because it's your task. And that's a great thing. And that's opportunity. So number two, as I said, it's opportunity. Look for the opportunity to serve other people. Once you can understand and know how to be humble, look for the opportunity to serve other people. And then the next thing you have to be able to do after you can accomplish those two things is figure out in yourself the best way to communicate with those people. Any great leader has to be able to communicate. And I know I'm going to specifically speak to communication later on when I get to the next topic, and that'll be another day. But communication is always the key in anything that we do. Now, if you can say something verbally, that's great, cool. If you have to do it just through sign language or gestures or facial expressions, every part of us shows what kind of leader we are and shows what we can do in whatever situations. You got verbal and nonverbal ways of communicating, but I'm going to specifically speak to that later. So I just want to talk about those are the three things that I think you have to look at. You have to be humble. You have to be able, you have to be humble. You have to look for the opportunities to serve somebody in the humility, and then also in being able to find the opportunity, being able to serve someone, you have to be able to communicate with them what you see in them and what you see the vision for their life, and also be able to listen to what they have to say. See, in communication, the greatest thing is to listen first and then talk second, or maybe not even talk at all, because some people just need to talk it out in their own mind. You know, everyone has had those moments where all they needed to do was talk it out. And they're like, I figured it out. Hey, thank you for listening. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Can I buy you a drink? No, you can't. Or whatever it is that you need. Can I get you some tickets to the Cowboy game? Somebody offer me that. I'm in. I'm gone right now. Where's the roll? They say 300. I say, nah, never mind. You keep those. 100 section or better, okay? I'm just kidding. But anyway, those are some things about leadership that I look at first and foremost. And it's not in a particular order, but for me, serving is important. And I think a lot of us are already leaders. They understand the concept of leadership. So that's why I started with serving first, because that's something you can do right now. Because honestly, trying to build ourselves up can take a while, but things you can do to serve other people, especially in a time like this where we're getting down to the end of the year and all these great holidays coming around and people don't have families, people don't have places to go. Well, you have an opportunity right now to lead people into a greater space, a greater place. And that's a beautiful part about leadership. That's a beautiful part about having a community, a family. And if you don't have any of those things, you can go get it. You can get it and make it happen. You know, just take your time, though. Don't run into any trouble. Like I tell anybody. Like people told me, take your time, brother. Take your time, sister. All right? So that's what I want to briefly talk about today. Hopefully that made a little sense to you. If it didn't make sense, just keep listening, because at the end of this thing, after we finish these days of this, man, you're gonna feel better. And I'm going to feel better, because we're going to do this thing together, and I'm growing, we all growing, and that's what it's about. We're trying to grow together. If we don't grow together, then what is the purpose of living? And in that, we're going to just live, man. Stop living in fear. And that's the last quote I'm going to leave with. And the ugly truth is, do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain. And that's what life's about, right? Hold on, guys. I think I might have messed that one up. Do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain. Ooh, I like that. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Y'all chew on that for a little bit. Do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain. The death of fear is certain. Y'all get that? I don't either, so I'm just going to. No, I'm just kidding. No, you got to look, when in life, to leave y'all with this, you have to do the thing that you're afraid of. A lot of times people are afraid of leading other people. A lot of times people are afraid of leading themselves. They don't have the confidence in leading themselves. They think it's impossible. They think only these so-called great people can do it. But as you know, all these great people that you thought have been great over your life or throughout history, when you look at the real life of these people, you're like, whoa, they're more messed up than me. Exactly. That's what makes great leaders, because you be like, man, in impossible situations, they made it work. And they were flawed people. So that's why you got to do the thing you fear, because if you don't, then what does that mean for you? Death of fear is certain. And who wants that? Not I. So anyway, guys, hey, this has been fun, man. We're going to keep going. We got a few more days of this. We got a few more days. This is day one. But I just want to let y'all know you got something to look forward to. And let me know if y'all want to comment. You have something to say about leadership. You have a better perspective on it that you want me to address. You got questions, anything like that. You can email me at fortheonemedia@gmail.com. fortheonemedia@gmail.com. Make sure you subscribe and like it at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the streaming platforms, the Red Tape Podcast. Hey, we're trying to grow the show. It's growing, but we want to grow even more. We know it takes time. Hey, anything worth having takes time, and I get it. It's a process. So I want y'all all to be a part of this process, because what we're going to continue to do is move progressively forward in a conservative way. That's what we do around here. That's what we're going to continue to do. It's all about truth. And, man, look, it's all about growing together, making mistakes together, and then learning from those mistakes, as I do here every single day, as y'all heard me earlier. All right. Hey, anyway, y'all have a great day. Peace.